Hello everybody. So PAX. Not really a whole hell of a lot to say about PAX, was there? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was pretty disappointing. They haven't really showed us anything new since SOE Live. It's just been little tidbits here and there, and there's a lot of people that are expressing concern about this. If you check out the forums and stuff, there's people that are really worried because the landmark is supposed to be right around the corner, just 3 or 4 months away. So how come they're not giving us any new information or really showing us anything? Some in-game footage would be much appreciated at this stage because we haven't really seen anything except for some time lapses, and it would just be nice to see some item gathering, some running around in the world and things like that. A little bit more details about how the crafting is going to work and stuff. But what I think it really boils down to at this point is people just want to see in-game stuff. We're tired of hearing, we have this and we have that. We want to see it in action because it's supposed to be so close, like I said, only 3 or 4 months away. If you head over to Geek Domo's channel, you'll see that those guys are pretty concerned as well. Now, Geek Domo's a really nice person. He's actually helped me understand YouTube a lot more than I did. He's helped me understand a lot of the rules, and he's just helped me to make my channel better overall. Because I'm pretty new at this, guys. I just started to sink my teeth into it with EverQuest Next. Before that, I had messed around with YouTube a little bit for a couple of years, but I haven't really, got into it until recently. So check out his channel. I highly recommend it. But yeah, those guys are concerned, and I am as well. They also mentioned on his channel that they're worried about how far along EverQuest Next might be. And they made a really good point when they said that with the roundtable stuff, they're discussing things that should have been done a long time ago in terms of development. Which I noticed as well. I mean, when they started asking us about beards, I was thinking to myself, how far along are we here? Because these are things that have to be done pretty early on as far as I know, character design. So a lot of us are thinking that Landmark's just going to be something that's going to kind of hold us over, which it's pretty cool because it opens up like a kind of like an open beta. But at the same time, if it lasts too long, if they have Landmark going too long, people are going to get tired of it, and they're going to get tired of waiting around for EverQuest Next. So if they string us along for like 2 or 3 years, I don't think that's going to really help EverQuest Next. In fact, it might hurt. It might hurt it more than anything else. I mean, we all know how impatient people are, and they're just not good at waiting around for things to come out. People tend to move on, and then they just really don't look back. But hey, who knows? It might work out. My main concern is the hype factor, because whenever things get hyped up, you just set yourselves up for disappointment. Now, I'm guilty of hyping. I mean, I've made videos where I'm like, this is going to be the best thing ever, and I just can't wait. I mean, it's really hard to avoid that, but the thing that stops hype is actually giving people something to chew on, something to sink their teeth into, and we haven't seen anything like that yet. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to diss EverQuest Next or Landmark or anything like that. I'm just concerned because I don't want to see the hype machine get into full swing and then the game comes out and everybody's just, it just can't meet everybody's expectations. I really don't want to see that happen. I just think that there are some things that need to be addressed and cleared up with the community so that people don't overhype what the game is capable of doing. Because let's face it, I mean, they're talking about some serious stuff here, some things that are really, really innovative and ahead of its time, and people were looking at the reveal going, wow, I mean, we didn't expect to see anything like this in 10, 15 years. I mean, it just looks really ahead of its time. I mean, you've got things like emergent AI, and we really don't know the specifics about that, so people are really speculating and hyping that up. And then you've got the multi-tier things where you can dig through the dirt and go down several levels, and nobody's really certain how that's going to work, if it's going to be everywhere, if there's just going to be certain areas where you can do it. They talked about things like permanent change. I mean, how permanent are we talking? Nobody really knows. We don't know how that's going to work either. I mean, aside from rallying calls, we really don't understand, permanent change. You build a town and there it is, and you got to defend it. If you don't defend it, it can be taken over. So we don't know if that's the only kind of change they're talking about, or if there's something deeper here. And the whole destructibility thing, that's still up in the air, because they're telling us that about 5 minutes after you destroy something, it heals back up. But we don't really understand it beyond that point. I mean, we don't know if we can just bring in a whole bunch of people and completely destroy a zone in 5 minutes with like 100, 200 people. If people are going to be able to sit there and constantly troll other people, or what they're going to do to stop that from happening, we don't understand that. And we don't know if every place is going to be destructible, or if there's only going to be certain areas that are destructible. So like I said, there's just a lot of speculation. When you got speculation, you get hype. And when you get hype, things get inflated, and it just never really tends to meet expectations, guys. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist. Like I said, I don't want to see this thing get too overhyped because it's just bad. You don't want that. So I've just had to apply the brakes a little bit here and just say, whoa, ease back a little bit. And, I'm trying to tone down my excitement so that I don't set myself up for disappointment. And I think that everybody else should be doing that as well. Because when everything was first released, I was just going crazy. You guys know, I mean, if you see my videos, I was just off the wall. Going nuts like, like I said, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And I just had to, get a dose of reality in there. And I think the past few days have really brought me down to, back down to earth, so to speak. Just because it's been such a dry spell with Gamescom, they really didn't show us much there, and then with PAX, it's just been really disappointing. But I don't really expect to hear too much about EverQuest Next right now. It's Landmark that I've got my sights on, and I really do think that they need to be campaigning for that a little bit more by showing things and letting people understand how it's going to work. They haven't even told us when beta is supposed to be coming around. I think they're just going to all of a sudden be like, well, here's beta. So, I mean, I don't know, if you're going to have a beta for a game like Landmark, it should be now. I mean, it should be 3 or 4 months before the game comes out, right? When are they going to have beta? A month before the release? It's just kind of strange. I'm not really understanding. But then again, if they're looking at Landmark as a beta for EverQuest Next, then they might not be really concerned with getting the beta for Landmark out right away, But then I gotta ask myself, why have a beta at all for Landmark? Why not just bring Landmark out? Why tell people that you're going to have a beta and, we get so close to it coming out and there's no beta yet? It's just frustrating, I mean, if you're one of those guys, if you're like me and you've tuned into every Gamescom cast and you've been there for PAX and you sat through all the crap that you really didn't care about and you're just going, whoa, what is that it? That's all we got? But it was just such a surprise when they were like, well, here's Landmark. They came out on stage, they did their whole spiel, and then boom, here's Landmark. Everybody's just, you could feel everybody's jaw just hit the floor like, what? What's this? And, everybody's just kind of waiting to hear more about it since it's supposed to be right around the corner. But, I digress. Now, another one of the things that concerned me was they were talking about how if you're building things in Landmark and it's good enough and they accept it, you could potentially land a job at SOE. And that right there, I mean, I was just kind of sitting there really pessimistic about that, really speculative, thinking, what? How many people are going to be able to do that? One person, 2 people maybe? I was immediately concerned when I heard that because I started thinking, oh, here goes the hype train. Everybody's going to be like, you can get a job at Sony, everybody. Let's build. We can have a job at Sony and it'll be the best thing ever. And it just isn't realistic, in my opinion. It just isn't realistic. Landing a job at Sony just because you're playing a game and messing around with their tools. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's highly improbable. Okay, so here's the scenario for you. You got a whole guild of people here, right? And they're building this awesome epic palace. And the palace gets like 1 million votes. Everybody loves it. Sony loves it. They put it into the game. Who's going to get a job out of those people that are in that guild? Say there's like 100 people that worked on it. Who's going to get a job? The project leader, the person who said, let's do this, the guy who put up the doors, who's going to get the job? So I just think it was better left unsaid. I really don't think they should have mentioned that. So I guess it's just a waiting game, guys. We're just going to have to wait and find out what's going on. But if they were going to tell us anything, really big, I think it should have been at these 2 conventions because as far as I know, there's really not anything else coming up, where they're really going to grab everybody's attention aside from just posting things on their website. So who knows? We don't know what's going on, but try to stay real and try not to get too hyped. And I'm going to keep trying to bring you guys videos, but, I mean, the content's really thin here. There's not a lot of information, like I said. And, I'm going to try to explore different avenues, like different games, and try to bring some more content in here for you guys. But as far as EverQuest Next goes, there's only a couple more things that I can really think of off the top of my head to bring to you guys. That isn't just going to be a complete snooze fest. I was thinking I might renew my World of Warcraft account or something like that. If you guys are interested in that, I might do a few Let's Plays. I have never played League of Legends. There's a lot of free-to-play MMOs out there that I think I should maybe do a couple of reviews for. I was actually looking at some indie games and maybe doing some indie stuff, maybe some retro stuff, but let me know what you guys might be interested in seeing. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you want to see. Keep in mind my hardware is really not that great, so I can't play anything too crazy, and I'm working on getting a better rig for, for Landmark and EverQuest Next because, maybe it's a good thing, for me that beta isn't out yet because I couldn't really participate in it, I'm sure. So yeah, let me know what you guys are interested in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.